story title is DEX, the heart of a hero. The author is Caralyn Buehner. The illustrator is Buehner. What kind of story, what genre is it this week? Facts and informational text? Realistic fiction? Humor? No, this week our story is fantasy. Fantasy. Couldn't really happen. Fully made up. Let's see. Let's see our story. Dexter was a little dog. His legs were little. His tail was little. His body was little. He looked like a plump sausage sitting on 4 little meatballs. Being the size that he was, Dex was often overlooked. Other dogs grew tired waiting for Dex to catch up when they played chase. Eventually, after a while, they forgot to invite him at all. No one really seemed to notice him, except when Clevis, the tomcat, demonstrated how he could stand right over Dex and not even ruffle his fur. Yes, everything about Dex was little, except his dreams. He wanted to be a hero. He could just see it. The little box, the comic book box on the bottom, says, Mighty Dex flew up into the dark and starry night. But wanting and being are 2 different things. Dex lived on dreams until one day, after crawling out from under Clevis, yet again, he decided there had to be more to life than gazing at the underside of a cat. There had to be more to him if he could be a hero, he would. So, Dex started training. He read every superhero comic book he could find. He watched every superhero movie ever made. He also went to the library. The box on the bottom says that he furiously studied, knowing that everything depended on him. Dex figured that a hero must have strong muscles. He needed exercise, and lots of it. Dex started trotting to the corner and back every morning. He hopped over every crack in the sidewalk. He struggled to climb the garbage pile, up and over and down, and then up and over and down again. All day long he worked, day after day. Even at bedtime, when he wanted to flop on the rug with his tongue hanging out, Dex forced himself 5 circles 5 extra times. The box on the bottom says, "The mighty Dex pressed on through wind, rain, and storm and fatigue." He still went on. When it got easier to run to the corner and back, Dex did it again and then again. Then he dragged a sock filled with sand as he ran. And then he dragged 2 socks. Back and forth. When Clevis was bored and stood in the middle of the sidewalk to block his way, Dex dropped to the ground and slid right under him. He was too busy to be bothered by Clevis. Dex was tired, and Dex was sore. He was working so hard, he almost forgot what he was working for. But one night, as he dragged himself to bed after his last push-ups, Dex stopped in front of the mirror and flexed. He could feel all of his muscles. He could see them. Muscles! Now, Dex didn't take the stairs. He skimmed them. He leapt over fire hydrants. He vaulted up curbs. He could jump over the garbage mountain without touching the top. He could run like the wind. It felt as if his legs had springs. The middle box says, faster than a rolling ball, stronger than the toughest rawhide, able to leap tall fences in one single bound. Only one thing was missing. Finally, a small brown package arrived. DEX ripped it open. His hero suit. It was red with a shiny green cape, and it fit like a glove. DEX loved the way it felt. He loved the way it looked. And he loved the feeling he had when he put it on. He was ready. The box at the bottom says, with courage of a lion, strength of a bear, and the heart of a hero. When DEX went out in his suit for the very first time, he looked up and down the street. He noticed a young pup was trying to cross the street. DEX sprang into action. "May I help you?" he asked. He guided the wide-eyed pup across the street and grinned as the pup stared up at him with his mouth hanging open. Pup whispered, "Wow, super dog." Super dog. DEX liked the sound of that. Of course, when Clevis saw DEX, he just had to comment, "Hey DEX, where's the party?" DEX was so busy, he was able to ignore Clevis, for the most part. The only time his face ever got red is when Clevis yelled, "Where'd you get that dress up?" DEX had to wonder if Clevis saw anything but the suit. Didn't he understand? The suit was his way of letting people know he was here to help. The little box says, the sun glinted off his emerald cape as Superdog raced to the rescue. There was a mouse he saved from the sewer, a purse snatcher he tackled, He fixed his neighbor's sprinkler. Look, you can see. It's not a sprinkler. It's a hose that he chewed on. I think he made it worse. I don't know if he helped. He found a lost kitten. Pulled a rat away from a live wire. Tracked down a lost wallet and put out a trash fire. And he also organized a cleanup day in the neighborhood. It seemed that now, whenever anyone needed help, they turned to DEX. And DEX had never been happier. Late one night, there was a banging at the door. When DEX answered, it seemed as if the whole neighborhood was yipping and yowling in a panic. "It's Clevis!" they shouted. "He's stuck in a tree! Hurry, Dex, hurry!" Dex raised his eyebrows. It was not like Clevis to move enough to get into any trouble. In a flash, he was dressed and ready. The comic box says it was clearly a desperate situation. As Dex got closer, Dex could see Clevis. Clevis had been chasing a squirrel to the top of the tree, but he'd slipped and was hanging by one claw on a slender branch. He was yowling for all he was worth. "I'm slipping!" Clevis screeched. "Help me!" Dex looked desperately around for something to climb on. There was no boxes or ladders, not even any trash cans. Then Dex looked out at the crowd. "Quick, everybody!" Dex shouted. "I've got an idea." Dex leaped onto one end of the teeter-totter, facing the tree, pushing it to the ground. "Everybody! 1, 2, 3. All the animals jumped together on the other end of the teeter-totter, catapulting Dex into the air. He soared over the crowd, his ears and cape streaming out behind him. The mighty Dex flew up into the dark and starry night. Dex scrambled onto the branch next to Clevis. Quickly, he pulled off his cape and tied its 4 corners onto the screeching cat. "Jump!" Dex shouted. "Jump, Clevis!" With an ear-piercing screech, Clevis let go. The billowing cape caught the air and parachuted the big cat to the ground. Dex backed up and slid to the ground amidst the cheers of the crowd. Dex was bruised and tired, but he forgot his discomfort as Clevis sheepishly lumbered over, still tangled in the green cape. "Thanks, Dex. You really are a hero." Dex didn't think he could feel any better, but he did, just a little, the next day when Clevis sidled up next to him and whispered, "Hey, say, Dex, could I be your partner?" Dex looked the big tomcat up and down. It would be a lot of work to turn Clevis into a hero. But he could hardly wait. "Sure," Dex said with a grin. "Sure." Box on top says, "With twice the brains and triple the brawn, our heroes forge on, ever ready to lend a helping paw."